So before we start our session today, yesterday was a historic day for the whole universe, if we can call it. We could successfully land in the moon. The fantastic achievement by our scientists and technicians. With what precision they have landed. Every moment was thrilling yesterday. The last especially 15-20 minutes. Everything has gone off so well planned, intelligently executed. That is the power of the human intelligence. All of us are equipped with such intelligence. And we can also reach the heights, such heights. In the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Shloka number 18-14, he says, Lord Krishna says, Adhishtanam tada karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividascha pratak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. For doing any action successfully, there are 5 parameters. You need a field, you need the knowledge, you need the process, and there should be a karta to execute. If these 4 are there, the action will not get successful because you need the 5th factor, which is called Daivam Chaivatra Panchamam. The 5th factor is very, very important. So unless and until we have the blessings of Lord, the success will not be in our hand. We can do anything, everything. And yesterday, if you see how many people have prayed for the success of this moon landing. So that means the prayers are acknowledged by the Lord. So importance of prayer was also one of the factors. Intelligent execution, planning, the timing, even though we have computers and all that, but still, at the right time, it should work. So that is what is called intelligent planning. So we should all congratulate all of us, ourselves, for this successful achievement by our scientists and technicians. Probably they will land a person in the moon, maybe in the near future. It's possible. Anything is possible, especially with the human intelligence. So with this, we take up our today's portion. On the 8th shloka, Prakritim swam avashtabhya visijami punaha bhutagrama mimam krishnam avasham prakriter vashat. Prakritihi swam avashtabhya. Keeping Prakriti under his control, Bhagavan's control. Visijami punaha. I go on creating this Srishti, this Jagat. Punaha. I mean, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Bhuta Grama Mimam, this Jiva, the world. Krishnam, complete. Avasham. Prakriti Vashat. We have no choice. We are helpless, individual, Jivatma. Because we cannot choose our parents, we cannot choose we have nothing in our hands. That is all done by Prakriti, nature. So Bhagavan says that Prakriti is under my control. Whereas we are all of us are under the control of Prakriti. What is now Prakriti? Prakriti is nothing but, see, whenever we do any action, there will be a reaction. That means any karma we do, there will be a fruit of the karma phala. So depending upon the motive of the karma, it can give you punyam or papam. For any action, what we do, it could be visible and invisible. Invisible is this punyam and papam. We are doing so many karmas, not only in this birth, but also in the previous births, accumulated karmas. And all this accumulated punyam and papam, that warehouse, that is called vasana. Another term for vasana is prakriti. Another term for prakriti is maya. So we see now vasana, maya, or prakriti. So now what happened to the prakriti? Prakriti is inert. It has no sentiency. There is no life in that. So Bhagavan says, I am giving satta, existence to Prakriti. Prakriti by itself cannot do any activity. But in the presence of Bhagavan, it gets energized. See, for all our activities also, see, if you want to have our cell phone, it is energized by the built-in battery inside. And that built-in battery goes on exhausting depending upon the use, and we can recharge. So rechargeable battery. But in the case of Bhagavan, his battery is ever available. Power is ever available. There is no recharging required. So such recharging is enlivening is given by Bhagavan for Prakriti. And what is Prakriti? It is a warehouse of all our punyam and papam. So Maya is there. Maya is a Shakti. You can call it also a Shakti. That is why we have got Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Brahma has the power of Saraswati. Vishnu has Mahalakshmi. Shiva has Parvati. Unless these two are together, then only they can create. Creation is possible. So at the macro level, we have this Srishti called Jagat. So Jagat is Srishti, and the cause for the Srishti is Bhagavan. Brahma is creating. See, there is a term, we call it as Brahman. Brahman is called Nirguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman has no gunas, no activities, no changes, no vikaram, all pervading. This is all Nirguna Swarupam. Unfortunately, that Nirguna Swarupam we cannot perceive with all our 5 sense organs. It is not perceptible. But what is perceptible? That is Ishvara. What is Ishvara? Ishvara is nothing but Brahman plus Maya, or Brahman plus Prakriti, or whatever stored in our vasanas. So that is also illumined by in the presence of Brahman. So the Ishvara is nothing but Saguna Brahman. Saguna Brahman is what we are worshipping. So when we go to a temple, we see Lord Ganapati or Lord Shiva or Hanuman or Krishna or Goddess Saraswati or Lakshmi. So we have a Saguna Wow. That means we are given a form and a name. And that is what is called Ishvara. Whereas Nirguna Brahman, we are not able to conceive, but it is there. It's like our space. Space cannot be perceived, but everything is inside the space. So we have 5 bhutas, starting with space. Space was the first one. Then came Vayu, then came Agni, then came water, then came the earth. So what Bhagavan says is, why should he take this human form? Now we say Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna was born on Krishna Ashtami, which is going to come very shortly. And Rama was born in the Navami, Rama Navami. So we have a Saguna form and name. As far as human beings are concerned, we are born according to our papam and punyam, which are released from the storehouse, from the vasanas. See, from the vasanas, certain stored impressions will fructify. See, like if you take a mango tree, there are ripe mangoes. Mango tree has got so many mangoes. Some of them are raw, some of them are semi-ripe, some of them are fully ripe. When it is fully ripe, what happens is it falls down automatically because it loses the holding strength onto the tree. It falls down automatically. So when it downs automatically, same thing happens from the vasanas, stored vasanas within us. There are certain desires which are fully ripe, which comes out as vasana, a desire, at our intellectual level. So from vasana, a desire comes in. Desire comes because of the fructification of certain vasanas. Then from the desire, at the mind level, we have a thought. So as I told you in the earlier case, that you have a vasana of ice cream, which you have eaten quite some time back. So when you go nearer to the ice cream shop, that ice cream vasana will come as a desire to you. Then what will you do? The thought comes, yes, I should get the ice cream. Then what will you do? We go to the shop, buy the ice cream. That is a physical action. So our birth, human birth, is based on this papam and punyam. And when we get this papam and punyam, what happens? And this is what we call it as the stored vasanas are called sanchita karma. Sanchita karma means sanchita is a bag full of karmas. All the pavam and punyam, which we have earned in all these previous janmas, are put in that bag. That is sanchita. Then the one which is ripening is called prarabdha karma. So prarabdha means a certain karmas which are fructified is coming in the form of a desire, in the form of thought, and then we get this birth. Because we have to enjoy that activity. For enjoying the activity, we need this body, gross body, shariram. And when you get the shariram, what happens? Again, you do actions. When you do again actions, again you are gaining punyam and pavam. So punyam and pavam, the impressions are again going back to the mind, and stored in your vasana. At the time of our death, what happens is that whatever punyam and pabam we have created in this particular birth is also stored back into the vasana. The thicker the vasana, our ignorance also gets fully thickened. I mean, the ignorance become very, very heavy, and then it can cover our jnanam, because we have a God inside in our hridayam. That God we are not able to see, we see outside, because this stored vasanas has brought a thick screen of black color which is hiding the Atma. So if I have to see the Atma, what I have to do? I have to remove my vasanas, exhaustion of vasanas. And that is, instead of exhausting the vasanas, we are going on creating new and new and new vasanas. So which is again thickening the vasanas. Now in the case of Ishvara, what happens? So we have seen how the human development has taken place and how we are not able to see the Atma, because Atma is covered by, veiled by our vasanas. In the case of Bhagavan, Bhagavan is whom? All the Jivatmas put together, all the living beings. It need not be the human alone. It can be animals, it can be insects, it can be this thing. Because all are created by Bhagavan. So all of them put together is called Ishvara. Okay, how does Ishvara come into the earth? In the 4th chapter, he has already said very clearly that when there is adharma overriding, suppose there is the whole country is going through adharmic activities, and that is Rakshasic tendencies. Then the people are not able to, the good people are not able, sadhus are not able to live. So he says, Yada yadahi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever the dharma declines, I take birth. Srijamyaham. So that means his birth is not based on pabam and punyam. I mean, whenever he wants, Bhagavan wants, he can come down. In the case of Prahlada, how Nrsimha Avatara, he came through that from the pillar. So that means there need not be like our human birth, we have to be in our mother's womb for about 9 months before the baby comes out. But that is not required for Bhagavan. Bhagavan can come any time, whenever he wants. But he will come only when he wants to protect the people. Dharma samsthapanartham loka sangraham. So welfare of the people, can come down. So in that case, what happens is, he comes with a specific purpose. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dukkhida dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So that means he is taking birth as and when it requires. Whereas in our case, we have absolutely no freedom. Our birth is depending upon punyam and pabam fructifying. Whereas in the case of Bhagavan's avatara, that's called avatara, he need not have any punyam and pabam. With the result, what happens is that vasana cannot affect him. Maya or Prakriti. So that Prakriti's covering power, Avarana Shakti, cannot work with Bhagavan. Because that Maya is under the control of the Lord. Whereas we are under the Lord, under the control of Maya. So we are covering the Bhagavan. That is why we are not able to get this Tattva Jnanam or Brahma Jnanam or Atma Jnanam. Whereas in the case of Bhagavan, he is ever liberated, Mukta. There is no liberation required for him because he is ever Mukta, ever liberated. In our case, when do we get Mukta? When we can get rid of, exhaust all our vasanas. And then we are called Jivan Mukta. A Jivan Mukta and the Lord, they are one and the same. That is why we say Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi. That Aham Brahmasmi comes basically from that Jivan Mukta is fully aware, I am not doing any work. I am Akarta, I am Abhokta, I am not doing any work. But in my presence, everything is working. In my presence, everything is working. And this is what he has talked about on the sloka number 8 and also in sloka number 9. So if I read sloka number 9, Nachamam tani karmani nibadnandi dhananjaya udasinavadasinam asaktam teshu karmasu Nachamam tani karmani mam na nibadnandi dhananjaya. So here the Lord, Mam is the Lord, Ishvara, Saguna Swarupa, Ishvara. He says, even though I am doing activities, but I am not bound. Nivatnandi means binding. No karma is binding on me, mainly because I am not doing any work. In this chapter itself, on the 4th sloka, he says, Mattani sarva bhutani pashyame Mattani sarva bhutani na chaham teshu avasthitaha na cha mattani bhutani pashyame yoga vaishwaram. All the jivas are in me. First statement he said. Then he says, I am not in them. And again he says, they are also not in me. And they are also not in me. Why? How? Because Pashyame yoga maishwaram. See my maya. You are not able to appreciate my maya. I am not doing any work. If at all any work is being done, it is because of maya. Maya is a Shakti available to the Bhagavan. And then he says, how does he behave? Why he is not able to get binding? Nibadnandi. Udasinavat asinaha. First condition. Udasinaha asinam. And the second is asaktam teshu karmasu. Asaktam. I do not have any sangha with that activity. Because I am not doing any activity as Bhagavan. I am Akarta and I am Abhokta. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyaste sukham vashi navatvare pure dehi naiva kurvan na karyan. That means I am not doing any activity, but Prakriti is doing this activity. Prakriti is inner, but Prakriti gets energized by my presence, Satta. So that is also a work. If somebody can stay in one place and he can make others activate, in the case of a managing director, see when the managing director comes to the office, you can see whether from the way people work in the office, from the look itself, they will know that there is somebody inside who is controlling all these people. So in the presence of managing director, he is not doing any activity. But in his presence, all these activities are taking place. But see, for example, in the case of a king calls the minister and says, one of his prime chief ministers and say, next month, I want to go to this particular temple. That's all the instructions given. And the king has forgotten about it. And you can imagine the feverish activities done by that minister in various organizing various things. The temple has to be kept clean, temple has to be organized, the roads has to be kept clean, everything required has to be arranged. And then the previous day of the visit, the minister tells, he is reminding the king that tomorrow we are supposed to, he wanted to go to this particular temple. I have made all the arrangements. Now, the king has not done anything, but king has given his presence or his satta, existence has been given to the minister, and the minister got the powers from the king, and he did all this particular preliminary work. So similarly here Bhagavan says, I give existence to Shakti, that is Prakriti. So I am giving existence to Prakriti. And Prakriti being an inert object, so it is energized, number one. And again it gives you Shakti. That means the Nimitta Karanam, because Prakriti is there, but Prakriti, to activate the Prakriti, it should have some knowledge. That knowledge is also given by Bhagavan. So both Sat and Chit, awareness, are given by the presence of Bhagavan. And what type of Bhagavan it is? It is a Nirguna Swarupa. But he has taken the form of Sagunas, the form and name, and that form and name, that existence and the awareness principle is given to this Prakriti, and Prakriti do all these activities. So here he says, Udasinavat. Udasinavat means, you can say Udasina means indifferent. Udasina means indifferent. But the Bhagavan is not indifferent, please note. Because if Bhagavan is indifferent, we also can copy. I can also keep quiet and let somebody does the work. That means I am not taking any responsibility. I am not involved in any of these activities. But Bhagavan is not so. Bhagavan says, Udasina Vat. Udasina Vat means I am taking responsibility, but I do my activities as a witness. I am only a sakshi. To make this again clear, now you take a car, a petrol-driven car. The car is inert. It cannot move by itself. What does the car require now? You require petrol. So you put petrol, and then you have a driver, and when you ignite, the power is coming to the wheels, and then you can drive. Wherever you want to go, you can drive. Does petrol do any activity, direct activity? No. In the presence of petrol, the car is moving. In the presence of petrol, the car is moving. And you have a driver, that is Jiva. Now, if you drive recklessly and then create an accident, can the driver say, I didn't do anything? The root cause is petrol. If the petrol is there, because of that only the car could be driven. But what happens in the normal case, when the police comes, suppose the accident, somebody has been killed or died or something, naturally petrol is not charged. The charging is done to the driver because driver is responsible. Same thing with Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, in my presence, everything is taking place, but I am not doing any activity. That was what he said, Mattani sarva bhutani natu aham avastitaha natam mattani bhutani. So that means don't blame Bhagavan for all our problems. Bhagavan is in no way connected with our problems. Because normally if anything goes wrong, suppose I am a bhakta, I do puja regularly, go to the temple regularly, and something goes wrong, the first attack will be on the Bhagavan. Don't you have eyes? Don't you have compassion? Don't you do this thing? But please note, Bhagavan is not doing anything. Absolutely free. He is like a udasinavat asinam. Because of ignorance, we are putting the blame on Bhagavan. So who is responsible for all our problems? Myself, ourselves. Why? Because I have come to this earth because of my pabam and punyam. Because of my pabam and punyam, I got this birth. So whom do you blame? Should we blame? We should blame for our earlier activities where we collected more pabam or more punyam. If it is more pabam, punyam, we will be in a good shape. But if it is more pabam, we'll meet with all these calamities. So what is the remedy for that? Solution for that? Because now, due to ignorance, because the Bhagavan is covered inside us because of the vasana. So if the vasanas has to be removed, you should have, vasana is also called ajnanam, a covering. Ajnanam has got two things. One is covering and the other is vikshepam, projection. So because of that ajnanam, we are not able to see Bhagavan. So the solution is get jnanam. And how do you get jnanam? That is what he has talked about in all the previous 8 chapters. Also in this chapter also, up to 8th sloka. That try to get jnanam. If you are to get jnanam, your mind has to be pure. If the mind has to be pure, you should not have any desires. But if you do not have any desires, is it possible? Yes, one desire is to get Bhagavan. I should get Brahmajnanam, Atmajnanam. So everything is interlinked between things. So each one of us has the capacity and the potential things available within us to direct our intellect towards Bhagavan using Sravanam through Karma Yoga, through Upasana, and then getting the Jnanam, Sravana, Manana, Nidityasanam, we will get the Jnanam. And once we have Atma Jnanam or Brahma Vidya or Atma Vidya, then we are aware that first of all, I am not this body. And the body does all these activities. So this is the only solution by which, we can get out of this cycle. And again, in the next sloka, he says, same thing what we have talked about. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Maya adhyakshena prakritihi. Maya adhyakshena prakritihi means this prakriti is, adhyaksha means not supervised in the presence. See, if the teacher is there in the class will be silent. But if the teacher is not there, what happens? There's a commotion in the class. So similarly here, in the presence of Bhagavan, Prakriti suyate, creates. Sachara Charam, Charam and Acharam, movable and immovable. So the creation is done by Prakriti, not Bhagavan. We all have a mistake, that Bhagavan is responsible for all my activities. No, Prakriti, Maya. And Maya gets that power from Bhagavan. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetu Nanena Kaunteya Jagat Vibharivartate. The entire creation and resolution. Resolution means what? See, in the case of our jivas, people like us, jiva, I have a birth, then I have a span of life, and then I have death. So birth, living, death. That is Srishti, Sthiti, Layam. Srishti means creation, birth. Layam, Sthiti means in between period. And then Layam means death. So Srishti, Sthiti, Layam we have. Similarly, in the case of Ishvara, he also got Srishti, Sthiti, Layam. There the Layam is called Pralayam. Pralayam means the whole world during Pralayam gets folded into Prakriti, because Prakriti is the one which is doing. So from Prakriti, the world is coming. From Prakriti, the world is looked after, maintained, and finally, the entire world of objects get folded into Prakriti. That's what he says, Visirjami punap punaha. Prakritim swam avashtabhya visirjami punap punaha. Similar to our birth, existence, and death. Prakriti also has the three items. So, Layam. And Prakriti's life is like what we have seen, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. One day of Brahma is 1,000 Chaturyugas. 1,000 Chaturyugas means one Chaturyuga is 43,20,000 years. So one Chaturyuga means 43,20,000 years into 1,000 is one day of Bhagavan, Brahma. Similarly, night also has got the same duration. So, 2 Chaturyugas, like that 365 days per year, plus 100 years of his life. So, it is mind-boggling. We cannot think of that at all. We are probably in a very minuscule. See, like the Chandrayaan, it is 3.84 kilometers from the Earth is the distance. But still, our cameras are able to take pictures from there and send it to the Earth. The time duration, we can see, how much of time it will take for the cameras to reach, the rays to reach and all that. So similarly here, Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagat Vibharivartate. So Srishti, Sthiti, Laya Karanam is the work of Prakriti. And Prakriti by itself is inert. But Prakriti gets energized by the presence of Ishvara and also gets the Nimitta Karanam, the knowledge Karanam, Chit Surupam also gets to Prakriti, and that is why our intelligence is working. Mayadhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam Ketunanena Kaunteya Jagat Vibharivartate. So with these 10 slokas, Ishvara Swarupam has been discussed. We have seen now Ishvara Swarupam is all-pervading, Tatam, all-pervading, Sarvavyapi, then it does not do any action, Akarta, Abhokta, then it illumines everything, but it does not require any external light for illumining that particular light. Swayam Jyoti, they call it, self-powerful. Then it lends power to Prakriti. And he also says, all of them are in me, but I am not in them, and they are also not there. Then he says, Asangam, there is no Sangha. Only because of Sangha, the bondage is coming. Since he is Asanga, there is no bondage. Whereas in our case, we have only Sanghas. Sangha. See, when we get married, we have a new family coming, Shambandhi, they call it. Sambandha to Sambandhi. And once we have Sambandhis, the in-laws are coming, so many in-laws, so many problems, so many this thing. That means we are expanding our families. So all these Brahma Swarupam was talked about in the first 10 slokas. Now he comes to a different subject on the 11th sloka, that is, Avajananti mam muda manushim tanumasritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Avajananti mam muda manushim tanum asritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. It's a very interesting topic here. Bhagavan says, nobody wants to know me. Avajananti. Nobody wants to know me. But my condition is, I also do not know about myself. So here, Bhagavan and myself, we are both in the same line. Bhagavan says, nobody knows me. I also say, I do not know about me also, what I am, for what purpose I have come here, all that things. This is a general complaint. Avajananti mam. But he has used the word mudaha. Muda. In Vajagovindam, 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 Govindam Vaja Mudamate. Why the complaint of Bhagavan? Bhagavan says, I have a higher tattva. My Paramatma Swarupam, nobody wants to know. My Paramartha Swabhuvam. Bhagavan has got a higher nature, and we are at the lower nature. What is the lower nature? We give a name and form to Bhagavan called Rama or Krishna. So Bhagavan says, oh, up to that you are okay. You are aware of it. But don't stop it. There is something higher than that. I have a Nirguna Swarupam. When I say I have a Nirguna Swarupam, there my existence, my awareness, my infinite nature, you might have heard, but you are not aware of that. So he says, Avajananti Mamuda, who? Manushim Tanum Asrisaha. When you are giving me a shape, you are giving me a rupam, and then you are giving me a name, Manushim. You create a human being out of me, and then giving me a name, giving me a rupam, and then you worship me on that form. It's okay in the beginning, but we stop at that level. Manu, Tanu means body. We will ask, why Bhagavan took a body, avatar, why did Lord Krishna took an avatar? There he has given, he has given two reasons. One, Dharma Sansthapanartha. That means he wants to establish Dharma. When Adharma is prevailing, he wants to establish Dharma. That is number one. Number two, he wants to give the Vedic knowledge, Upanishad. Vedic knowledge, like this Gita, Bhagavad Gita and all that. That is why Lord Krishna is called Purna Avataram. When I say Purna Avataram, he is a complete incarnation because he is giving you dharma way of how to conduct our life, dharmic life, and also how to attain that supreme Brahman, that Vedic knowledge. That's why it's called a Purna Avatara. That higher status of mind, nobody wants to know. We stop at the lower level only. Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. Chetana, Achetana. Savikara Rupam, Nirvikara Rupam. Saguna, Nirguna. Apara, Para. Achetana, Chetana. So we should culminate at Paramatma Swarupam. That is my higher nature. So if you can reach that higher nature, then he says, all our problems are of ignorance. Samsara. We are struggling in this life with so many problems, so many illness, disease, hatred, anger, jealousy. Not everything. Everything is available to us in plenty because Bhagavan says, Param Bhavam Ajanantaha. Param Bhava means my supreme nature, you are not aware and you are not caring to know also. Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram means I am the Lord of this universe. So if I am the Lord of this universe and I have this Param Bhavam, higher status, higher knowledge, since I am not knowing this, Avajananti, Param Bhavam Ajanandaha, Mama Bhuta Maheshwaram. What he says is, what is the reason for our samsara? The reason for our samsara is we are seeking permanency from impermanence. We are seeking permanency from impermanent this one. This bhuta, this world is impermanent. It has also got pralaya. During pralaya, the world is not there. And during death, we are not there. But we are going only after that, birth after birth. So we are seeking permanence from impermanence. That is number one. Number two, we are trying to seek security from insecure objects. Ever insecure. Security from ever secure. See, we are after money. Nothing wrong in it. Up to a certain point, we need money because we need to live in this world. We need all the gadgets required. For that, you have to pay money and then only get. But then we think that if I have a very big bank balance, my retired life will be happy. No, absolutely foolish way of thinking. We have seen people who are wealthy people. They are the one who is committing suicide. Why? Because if we think that if I have enough money, enough a nice accommodation and all that, I will be happy. No. The only secure thing in this world is Bhagavan. That way, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam. Govindam, Bhaja. Muta Mate. Very strong word he has used. And the third is, we are seeking fullness from finite, infinite from finite. If I have to become Purnam, then I should not go to finite things. I should go to infinite things. What is infinite thing? Brahman. So the three major problems for our samsara is That's what he says. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satyam means satta, security. Jnana means awareness, infinite, finite. Anantam means, permanence, security, and Purnatva. So these are the three things which is very much required, that is available only in the case of Brahmajnanam. And unless and until we have this knowledge of Atma Vidya or Brahma Vidya, and Brahma Vidya is what is called Bhagavad Gita. Om Tat Tat Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastri. So all this, because what is Bhagavad Gita? It is some extract from Upanishads. That is called a Brahma Vidya. And Yoga Shastri means the practicing, how to conduct and get into this Brahma Vidya. When we say, generally we always say, when two people, then when some misunderstanding comes, we immediately say, oh, you don't understand me completely. This is a common complaint. Bhagavan also says, yes, people say, if somebody worships me and if I do not deliver what they want, then I become a bad god. They start abusing me. They even throw the books. They can throw the books. But you know what they throw is, they throw in the waste paper basket. But Bhagavan says, instead of waste paper packet, at least give it to paper wala. You will get some return out of that one. That's what we do. In our anger, in our fitness of anger, we even sometimes, I've seen people tearing all these things, throwing away everything. But that is not the solution. So that means Bhagavan says, I get abuses left and right. And number two, they give me a human form, and that means they are limiting me. I am an unlimited person. I am an infinite person. So they limit me. So again, another abuse. And again, we do pujas. What type of puja we do? Shodacho Bharacharam. 16 methods of worship. 16 limbs are there in the worship. So invite Bhagavan and give him a asana to sit. He is everywhere. What is the use of your giving an asana to that Bhagavan? Then you are giving arkyam. Then you wash his Bhagavan's feet. Then you put ornaments. When everything is given by you, who are you? This is not upachara. It is called apachara, they call it. There is a sloka, apachara. That means how people abuse me left and right. And they give you nivedyam. See, in the case of Krishnashtami, we make murukku, chidai, all these things. And we all know that Bhagavan is not going to eat. It is for our consumption. So Bhagavan says, I mean, there is no, Bhagavan, in the same chapter, he is going to say, the way, the bhakti, bhavam, what is the bhavam you have? Patram, pushpam, balam, soyam, yome bhaktya prayachati, tadaham bhaktyubhagrzam, asnami prayadatmanaha. Even if you give me a drop of water, or a leaf, or a flower, or a food, but if the attitude is bhakti, then I accept. But if the attitude is you want glamour, you want to show off, manitvam, then I don't accept any of these things. So that means we are using Bhagavan as our convenient tool, either to worship or to abuse. So that's what he says here in this sloka. Avajaranti mam muta manushim tanumasritam. And that too, you're giving me a form, Rama, Krishna. Even among Rama, Krishna, Bhaktas, there are fight going on. Somebody says Rama is the, if my Ishtadevata is Rama, I say Rama is the supreme God. But Krishna Bhaktas, Hare Krishna people, Krishna is the biggest boss. All the other devatas are under them only. So that means even among the Nama Rupas, we are fighting. That is because my Param Bhavam Ajanantaha, my supreme nature, nobody is aware of. So the samsara karana, for us to have this terrible life, miserable life, is because we are not aware of the Bhagavan, Paramatma Swarupam. And once we know Paramatma Swarupam, then we know that we are not this body. Mano Buddhi Akankara Chittani Ragam. So he says very clearly that I am not this body, I am not this mind. Chidananda Rupas Shivoham Shivoham. I am nothing but Mangala Swarupam Shiva. So Brahma Swarupam was discussed in the first 10 slokas. Now he is coming to the reason for this samsara, for our samsara. So we'll continue next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.